Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about your person, their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions. We're going to be getting into all of it and seeing how they really feel for you. Today we have a selection of crystals for you to choose from. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments in the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual gifts and powers. Before that, I posted one about your person and whether you know them from a past lifetime, what your soul connection is. And before that, what have people realized about you? But there is so much content to choose from. There are over, like I said, 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can book a tarot reading with me, an astrology session, or a channeling session. It's really up to you. You also get to choose whether it's live or pre-recorded, so you can really customize your session so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then go to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link for that is in my description. So thanks for watching, guys. If you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Queen of Cups, the Death card, Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the Seven of Wands. So I feel like this person is coming through with so much admiration. It's almost like they're not sure if they're good enough for you. I feel like you may have even inspired this person to embark on a process of like self-improvement. Like they might be trying to get their money situation up. They may be trying to get better because it's almost like this person doesn't think they're on your level. We got the Seven of Wands, and I feel like they are very aware of like competition for you, or this idea that you have lots of other options and not being sure where they fit into that, wondering if they can really compete. I feel like that's something that bothers them, I guess, is like they don't feel fully capable of getting you or keeping you. They kind of worry that sooner or later you're just going to be like, no, I don't know why I've been dealing with this person. And I feel like that almost holds this person back from fully stepping up to you and like fully being transparent with their feelings or fully telling you everything they feel, because there's a part of them that really just doesn't feel good enough for you and is kind of convinced that either you already know that or you're going to be figuring that out, and then once you do, you're never going to talk to them again. So it's almost like they're a little bit afraid to let their emotions fully go with you and fully allow themselves to feel whatever it is. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of a sense of inadequacy. I feel like this person has a bit of an ego as well, and like it's just something that doesn't feel good to them. It's almost like they usually in other relationships, maybe they are used to being the one who gets pursued. Maybe they're used to being the one in demand. Maybe they are used to, you know, calling the shots in the relationship and feeling like the one who is the prize, so to speak. But I feel like with you, that's reversed. And on one hand, that person really likes that. Like they think it's exciting. And I feel like they like the challenge, especially because they're not used to it. This person may be like a bit of a player or very attractive and be used to having people who are wanting to date them and very into them. And I feel like for this person, you know, maybe even they're used to people throwing them at their feet, or things just come easily to them. And I feel like with you, it's the opposite. And it feels like they kind of met their match, which again, I think really excites them on one hand, but on the other hand, kind of definitely brings out insecurities. Like behind that ego and that sense of like, hey, look at me and I can get lots of people and I'm super attractive, there is that little ego that is screaming for reassurance and doesn't feel good enough. And I feel like you've kind of triggered that in them and brought that out. So I feel like sometimes this person fights a battle, almost like dealing with self-sabotage or like wanting to ruin things. You know, there's a part of them that I feel like sometimes is just like, I can't take this, like I can't handle this, and you know what, I'm just not going to try anymore, because it's always it's almost like they get very pessimistic and they just convince themselves that, you know, you're never going to be happy with them or you're never going to be satisfied with them. And I feel like then even if they were wanting to text you or reach out or tell you how they feel or be more open, like that pulls them away and keeps them from fully opening up. Even if you're in a relationship with them, that could be something that just really drives them crazy and worries them. And I feel like they worry about the end of the relationship with that death card coming out. And sometimes it is hard for them to not be in that place of pessimism and feeling like it's over, there's no point in trying anymore. But then I feel like sometimes this person, yeah, they really do like you. They really do care about you. They see you as the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is such a compliment. It's a very spiritual and creative, and someone who's the Queen of Cups is going to be extremely emotionally available, very nurturing, very loving, very sweet. Is probably someone you feel safe with, like they feel like home to you. So it can be a very deep spiritual connection. We definitely want to see cups when we are looking for like a love reading, because that indicates emotions and feelings. So if there's no cups, there may not be as many feelings. So with you being the Queen of Cups, I do feel like this person has a huge amount of admiration for you, really looks up to you, and just kind of like cares about you. You know what I mean? Like they also want to see you do well. They may even be a little protective of you, or like I feel like in a way this person worries about you or thinks about you quite a lot. They may think about you throughout the day. Like when they wake up, you're on their mind. Throughout the day, they're thinking of you. When they go to sleep, you're on their mind. I feel like this person really does feel super drawn to you and like a soul connection with you. I also feel like for them, they, again, go back and forth and maybe even a little scared of like, I've never felt this way before, or I never experienced this, and not being sure how to deal with it. I feel like there's a part of them that like kind of has never had to go so deep into their emotions before, and usually is quite good at compartmentalizing and kind of like holding their emotions at bay and just keeping things casual or not really caring that much, you know, like that's more of what they usually are doing, is like keeping someone at a distance emotionally and not fully letting that person in, and kind of like, that's okay, that's worked for me. But I feel like with you, it's very different, and they feel very overwhelmed almost, or kind of unable to like just put you in this little box and just go on with their life. It's something that actually kind of is overwhelming for them, and kind of threatening to them almost. Like I feel like in a way this person perceives it as a threat, like they see it as a little bit dangerous for them. And sometimes I feel like it freaks them out and makes them want to run away and kind of go back into their safety zone, where like, okay, I have control here, maybe even wanting to talk to someone else, or craving those old relationships where they felt like they had more control. If you're not with this person and this is like a long distance, or not a long distance, like a no contact separation, whatever, I feel like this person almost like they may have sabotaged things, because I feel like in a way they feel more comfortable when they have the power, and that's very important for them. And they really did sense you as such a threat to them. And so it's almost like they felt like they had to run in order to save themselves, in order to keep their own dignity and like just feel safe. I feel like they couldn't continue things with you. And they may seek out relationships where they get to feel like the one in charge, and they get to feel like the one calling the shots, and that they are not you know, as vulnerable as they are with you. Like I feel like they really feel vulnerable, and they really feel like you kind of see through them, and you really see through to their core. Let me get some of these cards for you. Pile number one, I want to know what is pile number one's person's feelings for them. Letting go of urgency, surrender, freedom from time constraints. Okay. Phase, entanglement, emotional influence. So you emotionally influence this person. I feel like if you're like in a bad mood with them, or if they check your Instagram and your following went up or your followers went up, that might put them in a bad mood for the day. Or if they feel like, you know, they're seeing a picture of you and you're posting with another guy, or you seem to have moved on in some way, that might really ruin their day. Like, I feel like they're very dependent on what you do, and you really have that hold on them. If you're in a relationship, obviously, you know, an active relationship, it could be that if you are in a bad mood or you're angry with them, like that really drives them crazy. I feel like they feel very tied into you, like very emotionally entangled with you and drawn to you. And it's something that I think, again, is kind of like scary for them. Like, I didn't know I could care that much. I didn't know that if someone else woke up and they were in a bad mood, that that would affect me as well. And I think sometimes it does bother them. You know, it kind of makes them unhappy the way that they feel so tied to you. Like, I feel like they might even beat themselves up about, like, you need to be more independent, this isn't healthy, you shouldn't feel this way. I also feel like they feel meeting you was very fated. This elementals card is sticking out to me with the nature spirits, 4 elements. So I feel like there's an element for them of spirituality there, and feeling like you guys were brought together for a reason, or feeling like they just knew you when they first met you, and feeling like incredibly drawn to you. I wouldn't be surprised if you know this person from a past life. I also feel like with this person, you're kind of teaching them to work through certain anxieties and certain fears that they have with that surrender, freedom from time constraints. What's coming to my mind with that is learning to just let go in general, like that anxiety we feel when we feel like we're out of time, or that anxiety when we're worried about the scarcity of anything, about someone's going to leave us, or I can't do this. And I feel like you've actually helped this person work through that, because I feel like they are shocked even by the fact that you guys have any kind of connection at all. Like, I feel like when they first met you, they really thought you were so out of their league, or that you would just not want anything to do with them. And I also feel like they are shocked at their own capacity to care as much, because I feel like when they first met you, it was kind of like, well, even if I have a thing with this person, like, I'm going to keep it in one of my little boxes, I'm going to be the one in control, and, you know, it's not going to be any threat to me. I get to call the shots, and I'll continue to call the shots with them, and that's it. And I feel like with you, you've kind of, like, not meant to, but you've kind of taken the power away from them, you know? Like, you haven't tried to. It wasn't something you did on purpose, but I feel like you, just by being you with your incredible energy, has made this person so drawn to you, and has made them so, like, almost addicted to your energy. You know, like, like I said, your energy, whatever you're doing, has a lot to do with how their day goes. So if you're in a bad mood, or you aren't feeling good and you're not vibrating on a high vibration, that really affects them. If you're happy and joyful and, like, feeling excited, I feel like this person just feeds off your energy so much and gets so much out of it. And like I said, it's kind of an addiction for them. Like, they love to be around your happy, joyful energy. They love to see when, you know, you post a new picture if you're not talking to them. They love when you are thinking of them or whatever. And I feel like when you cut your energy off from them, or you're mad, or if you're in no contact, if you're just posting happily with someone else on your Instagram, like, it can send them into a spiral. It's like they really need to feel connected to you in order to feel okay. And I feel like that has been sometimes something that just scares them a lot, and is teaching them and kind of training them to be okay existing in that place of uncertainty, and that they don't need to have control over every little thing in their life. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number 1. I want to know how this person feels towards pile number 1. Achievement, completion, reward. So they also feel very, like, chuffed with themselves that they got to be with you. We got the 6 of Wands as well. So I feel like this person kind of wants to, like, show you off. Like, they are proud of you. They are very pleased that they got someone like you. And I feel like for them, it's something that brings them a great deal of satisfaction when you're happy with them, or you are connected with them. Like, they kind of can't believe that they pulled someone like you, and they kind of can't believe that, you know, you have given them any attention. If you are no contact with this person, or you're not in a relationship, which I could definitely see a lot of people being in a relationship who picked this pile. But if you're not in a relationship with them, I feel like this person may just feel like pleased and smug that someone like you ever talked to them in the first place, you know, like that you ever flirted with them, that you were ever into them. It may really like do something for their ego. In fact, they might tell people like, oh yeah, my ex, and then show them a picture of you, even if you guys were never together officially, or you just had a situationship, or you just had a flirtation. I feel like in a way like that has given their ego a hit too, like in a good way. It has given their ego a boost where they're like, yeah, if I can pull pile one, if I can get pile one into me, then wow, that says a lot about me. Like, clearly I'm doing pretty good because look at pile one. Honestly, they do see you as like super beautiful. The Queen of Cups has a lot of charisma to her, and she's kind of a very beautiful and magnetic energy. So I feel like, again, they see you as someone who is just a lot of people after you. A lot of people would love to date you. And also that you have a very beautiful, gentle energy. Like, it really feels like you don't ever try to be the focus of attention or to get someone to notice you. It doesn't ever feel like you are seeking out that like energy from other people. Like, you just seem like you do your own thing and you are kind of in your own energy. And I feel like that draws this person in even more. Like, it's like you're not trying to make anyone notice you. You just effortlessly gather in that attention. And I feel like this person, yeah, they're kind of, despite themselves, like I feel like they're very fascinated by you. It's almost like they could just study you, put you under a microscope, and like they want to learn all about you, because I feel like they're just relentlessly curious about you. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number one. So we got prophets and ancient seers, decisions, predictive guidance. And it's interesting that that came out over the Queen of Cups, which is a very psychic energy. So this person may also see you as very spiritual, very psychic, or just that you guys have that very deep soul connection, and like it's a soulmate love, deeper connection than anything they've ever experienced in the past. But I also think they see you as that way in general. They see you as very intuitive. They see you as very wise. And I feel like they really look up to that. Like, there's a gentle energy about you, but there's so much wisdom. And I feel like there's so much deep knowledge. It's almost like I wouldn't be surprised if this person constantly thinks about like, oh, I would love to hear what pile one has to say about this. Or, you know, if they're having to make a big life choice, their mind goes to you and they think, what would pile one say? What would their opinion be? Or if you're in an active relationship, if they're constantly seeking you out for your opinions on different things, because I really feel like they just hold you in such high regard. Let's get some of these cards for pile number one. So we got Bluebeard, Band of Horses. What songs are going to sum up how pile one's person feels for them? Wildflower, Beach House. Okay. Ivy, Taylor Swift. Endgame, Taylor Swift. Unchained Melody, Righteous Brothers. Talking Body, Tove Lo. And let's get one more card. Death by a Thousand Cuts, Taylor Swift. So a lot of Taylor Swift songs. Maybe someone's a Swiftie. But yeah, what's sticking out to me a lot is that song Ivy by Taylor Swift. Probably my favorite Taylor Swift song, which says a lot because she has a lot of great songs. But I love the lyrics there, and honestly, it fits perfectly for the vibe I'm getting, where she says like, "Your my house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered." And I feel like, you know, ivy. I actually spent an afternoon like in my friend's garden once, helping her with her garden, and one of the things we had to do was like trim the ivy and like cut some of it away from one of the windows. And yeah, I didn't know, but ivy grows really fast, and you have to like kind of like prune it into place so it grows like actually aesthetically. Otherwise, it will just like take over your house and look like a complete mess. But anyway, what I'm feeling with that for you is like this person, I feel like they felt very drawn to you at the beginning. They definitely saw you as attractive. They definitely saw you as someone that they were interested in, but it's almost like they had no idea how drawn to you they would be, and they had no idea how long they would care about you or what an effect you would have on them. Like, they really didn't know when they met you that things were going to get as deep as they did, and they really didn't have any idea that even after all the time had passed, that they would still be thinking of you and you would still be on their mind. I also feel like with that end game, like for some of you guys who are in this relationship with this person, they could see you as a future spouse. I feel like they have a lot of love for you and they really do care about you quite a lot. I feel like there's so much emotion coming through Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. And yeah, honestly, also Death by a Thousand Cuts, that's like a breakup song, kind of imagining if we ever broke up, I would never be, well, I guess that's Cornelia Street, I guess. But Death by a Thousand Cuts, I feel like is parallel, where it's like kind of processing all the memories you have with a person, all the connections you had, all that you did for them, and how totally bereft you would feel if they ever actually left your life. So I feel like, again, that's a major fear that this person has, is that maybe one day you'll just cut them off entirely, or you won't want to talk to them, or you'll leave their life, and that this person really wouldn't know what to do. They would be so sad. They would be so devastated. Um, yeah, there's a lot of emotion. Bluebeard is also a super romantic song. I feel like this person sees you as very special and precious and also super unique with that wildflower and the Queen of Cups, like very creative and artistic, and just someone that I feel like you're always keeping them guessing. They can never quite figure you out. And I feel like that's what's addictive for them and keeps them on their toes and keeps them coming back, is like you seem like you are always like kind of changing and growing, and you're like a million different characters or personalities in one, but in a really good way, not in like a crazy way, but in the just like you have so much depth and complexity to you. And I feel like this person is, yeah, just very invigorated by that. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number one. How does pile one's person feel about pile one? How does pile one's person feel about pile number one? So we got the High Priestess. Okay, that has come out. That energy has come out again and again and again. You are very psychic, and I feel like, again, that's kind of the vibe. Like there's this witchy hidden, because that kind of High Priestess water vibe that we see with the Queen of Cups, which is also very psychic, is extremely mysterious. Like the High Priestess connects with Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and I always say, and I think it's emblematic of water in general, whether Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, they all have this quality of being kind of hidden and mysterious. Just like how in moonlight you can't see everything. In the bright light of day, you can see every feature, you can see it close up, you can see every detail, but in moonlight you only get to see slivers. Or if you imagine, if you've ever like tried to look at something through water, like if you've ever thrown something to the bottom of a pool and you've tried to see what it looks like or where it is, and you can't quite see it accurately, or let alone in like an ocean or a lake, like a dark lake, it's really hard to make out what's underwater. And I feel like that's something that this person really loves about you. There's something that they really can't figure out, and I feel like you just get their mind going, and they think about you and they wonder about you and they kind of worry about you and think about what you're doing, and it feels like you have this very vivid, like emotional inner life. And I feel like that also keeps this person kind of coming back for more. Like you just never seem like boring, predictable. I know exactly what to expect. It feels like you're always changing. That's another characteristic of water, is like it's never in the same place. It's a moving energy. And I feel like for you, there's this, yeah, kind of changeable, dynamic quality that you give off, that you're always learning and growing and becoming. Hey guys, sorry about that. My camera cut out. I guess it was out of storage and I didn't know, so I kept talking. So annoying when that happens. But these are the other cards I pulled, and we'll go over some of the things I had said. So we got the Four of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Wands, Nine of Wands, or the Wheel of Fortune, and the Death card. So we got double Death card and double Seven of Wands. So that's really interesting, because again, to me, it sums up this kind of pessimistic vibe that this person has of you. Maybe at times feeling really bitter, or feeling like there's just no way that this could possibly work out. We got some of the upper Wands cards. So the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Wands. So there really is this big sense of competition that this person has with other people around you, and this kind of being convinced that whatever they do is just not going to be good enough. And I feel like that's the thing that really bothers them about this relationship. Also, maybe because you do come off so mysterious to them. Like I was saying, and I don't know how far I got in this, but there's something very mysterious about the High Priestess, about the Queen of Wands, about water in general. Like when I was a kid, I would play in the pool a lot with my siblings. And even if you're in the pool, you know, and someone throws something in the water and you reach out to grab it, even if you might think it's like a foot away or 2 feet away and you reach your arm to get it, but it's actually way further. You know, there's something about water that truly distorts and you can't see things clearly. And I feel like you have that quality that just they can't put their finger on you. They can't figure you out. And it always keeps them, one, coming back for more and kind of like curious about you and unsatisfied in a good way that just keeps them invigorated and kind of seeing you as this fun challenge. But sometimes I feel like it also makes their worries run away with them and makes them kind of think, I don't know, maybe she's moving on. Maybe she's not that into me. They can also see this charisma you have that so many other people they know pick up on as well. Like they see you as so dignified and so attractive and beautiful. And like, of course, you have all these admirers. And so it's like kind of, I think, daunting for them because I feel like there's a part of them that doesn't feel good enough, and maybe it's just where they're at in their life now. I do feel like some of them are going through self-improvement projects, trying to make themselves better to like deserve you more. But also I feel like some of that is just worrying that, you know, they'll never be good enough for you and that you are just like a top tier person and so many other people would notice you and would want to be with you and would want to date you. So it's like, how could they possibly even compete with anyone else to get someone like you, because they really feel like you have your pick, and even if you just snapped your fingers, there'd be someone around the corner. So I feel like when you guys are, you know, not talking or there's time passing between you, even if you're in a relationship and you're just like, oh, I'm going out for a couple hours, I'm gonna go shopping, this person might worry about like, what if they meet someone else? Oh my god, are they talking to someone else? Because they do see you as so capable of like getting whoever you want and so attractive and being such a head turner that like anyone would notice you, anyone would be feeling so lucky to be with you and would want to approach you. And I feel like that really drives them crazy. But it's kind of made them step up their game up in some ways and try to become better and try to get their finances more in place or try to get their life better in many ways. Like I feel like that has also made them or inspired them to kind of like work harder. But there is this pessimism at times that takes over where they just think, I don't even know, like there's no point, and you know, they'll leave me anyway. Why do I even try? Why do I even get upset about this? Like I feel like sometimes depending on how they're feeling with their self-esteem, they just feel like it's kind of pointless and that, you know, they're wasting their time. But they do feel, I feel that deep spiritual connection with you, the Four of Swords. So they may dream of you. They may really feel a connection with you on the astral plane that they kind of can't explain. And I feel like it is that quality too that like you can see through them. I feel like they feel deeply understood by you in a way that really hasn't happened before, and that scares them as well. Like there's almost this embarrassment, like, oh my god, they're gonna see all my emotions. Maybe even they're gonna know I'm a simp, you know, they're gonna think of me as like pathetic or something like that. I feel like for them, they're not used to being vulnerable with their emotions. This is not someone who is used to sitting around and talking about how they feel and being super open with that. I feel like that is rare and unusual for them, and they are not used to like having to have those kinds of discussions or even feel those feelings in the first place. And so it definitely scares them a little bit, and it definitely kind of throws them for a loop and makes them, you know, nervous. This is not some area that they feel comfortable in, and I don't feel like they've even had to explore that in different relationships. They may have gotten into relationships, like I said, where they felt very much in the power position and they felt very much like, you know, I don't have to really open up that much and I call the shots and I'm safe and whatever. And then I feel like with you, it's just so different. Like emotionally, they really feel like they have to be much more vulnerable with you than they have been in the past. Let's get some more cards for pile number 4. So we got Whale and Orca Elders. Why did I say pile 4? Pile number 1. Sorry, sometimes people get mad at me for doing that, but really the energy is what matters, not the number. Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. This one says the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. This one is messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. And how does pile one's person feel towards pile one? We got you've got the love, Hadrian energy, codependency, boundaries. And this one says the cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. So I feel like you have really inspired this person to do some soul growth work. We got you got the love. So really they feel strongly for you. I feel like they are very emotionally, tied to you. They do feel very, very deeply for you. And it's almost like, again, you're an addiction for them and you're the only dealer in town. Like, you're the only one who can get them this and they need it. So I feel like sometimes, even though they do get scared and there is that part of them that really wants to just run away and get out of this, they know on a deep soul level that they are getting so much growth from this. They're becoming a better person. They're getting so much deeper into who they are and into who their soul is because of their connection with you. And I feel like also they just feel so drawn to you. It's almost like they can't help it. Even if they weren't growing, they wouldn't be able to like stop themselves. I feel like this person has probably never experienced a love this deep before, and it's just very overwhelming for them. I also feel like they can talk to you and open up with you about everything and anything, which is very unusual for them, even if it's just on the astral plane. But I feel like they just feel this deep sense of understanding from you, this deep sense of like acceptance from you, and like they can tell things to you that I feel like they would never tell anyone else, and that has meant so much to them. So yeah, there's a very mixed bag of emotions here, very much a push-pull energy, where on one hand I think sometimes they're just like so overwhelmed with joy and love and feeling so grateful to meet you, and then sometimes they feel like, oh my god, I need to protect myself, this is gonna crash and burn, I'm not safe, and that's when they kind of run. But overall, there's a lot of deep emotion and it's a very sweet relationship, and there's a lot of really beautiful, heavy emotions coming through. So yeah, that is what I have for you. Pile number one, if you want to check out more of my readings, head to my Patreon. I have over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual gifts and powers. Before that, I posted one about what your person's connection with you is, whether it's a soul connection, past life connection, twin flame, what's going on there. Before that, there was a reading all about what people have realized about you, but there's so many readings, over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want a tarot reading, an astrology session, a channeling session, or a combination, whether you want it pre-recorded or live, you get to really customize your session, so it's perfect for you. So if that is something you're interested in, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and link for that is in my description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. So you guys got the Queen of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the King of Swords. So the energy that I'm getting right away is like this person cares about coming off very logical and smart, and kind of like they really care about their reputation or their image when it comes to you. I feel like they want to make a good impression on you, but also it's like kind of an ego thing just for themselves as well. Like very much not wanting to seem like a clown or an idiot or a simp. And I feel like they really might try to hide their emotions from you or kind of blot out their emotions even to themselves, like not wanting to go there, not wanting to feel those things, and really feeling like they need to kind of keep that away from themselves and keep their emotions at bay. So I feel like they do a lot of kind of like self-denial and justifying and kind of coping and telling themselves like it's not that deep, or you don't really care, or even laughing it off as like, oh my gosh, like yeah, it was a fling, it was a hookup, I don't care about this person. I feel like they're kind of terrified of like actually going there and getting emotional, and they're very much worried about, like I said, seeming rational, making a good impression, having others respect them. And I feel like they're afraid that if people knew how much time they spend thinking about you and how much time they worry about what you think and all of that, that they would think that this person is crazy. So they do a lot of like blotting that out and just kind of stuffing their feelings and their emotions down and pretending that none of that is real and that they don't have those kinds of emotions. It's not that deep. I don't really care. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of denial. I also feel like this person, it's almost like they are afraid of acknowledging your own power. I wouldn't be surprised if in this relationship, sometimes this person like makes jokes at your expense, or sometimes like you feel like they don't fully give you the credit you deserve, because I feel like there's so much of an energy of them kind of being in awe of you, but also like not being okay with that and like beating themselves up and being like, again, like, oh my God, you're a simp, or oh my God, like, why are you like, almost like they might look back at themselves and be like, why do you always let her call the shots? Or that was so pathetic the way you bought her flowers and you like, I almost feel like this person, it's like they are looking at themselves, but they are also they obviously they're in their body, but they also view themselves as like a third party, like through a lens of how would others perceive me? What would others think of this? What would others think of my behavior? And very much not wanting to kind of like lose face and look like an idiot. So I feel like they spend a lot of time kind of like balancing that, or almost like doing things to try to maintain their independence, so to speak. Like, I'm not gonna like let this person tell me what to do. I'm gonna go out with the boys anyway. You know what I mean? Or I'm not gonna like, yeah, like she said I should text her. I'm not gonna text her right now. I'm gonna text her when I want to. You know what I mean? There's like that vibe. I don't know if this is like an active relationship, an ex, whatever the situation may be, someone you're in separation from. But I feel like this person just is very like stubborn, but underlying it is like that kind of sense of insecurity. And even if this is someone you're in separation, this is an ex or whatever, there could be like a desire to kind of like get back at you, like a desire like, I'm gonna make you see me walk away, with that Eight of Cups coming out. Like the Eight of Cups is all about leaving a situation, even though you can see the cups are mostly upright, and so he's still leaving. Like the cups upright symbolize actually harmony and good things. If they're on the side and they've fallen over, then it's a bad thing. But the cups are all upright, so it doesn't indicate that there's an actual problem, but he's still choosing to leave anyway. And I feel like for you, like this person, they have maybe even some set ideals they've told themselves. Like maybe they said, I will never tolerate blah, blah, blah in a relationship. And it might even be something really small. Like it might be that, I'll never tolerate someone who takes an hour to respond to a text message. And you're like, dude, I was like at work. Like, what do you mean? I wasn't ignoring you. Like, this is crazy. But, or I will not tolerate someone who like it's like is really close to their mom and always tells their mom everything. Like I feel like this person is almost giving me a vibe of like sometimes a little self-righteous, or kind of like getting too much in their own head. Like it's giving me the vibe of someone that's like an overthinker, and I've definitely been guilty of doing this, so I'm kind of like calling myself out sometimes. But like we all know those friends that will give us the pep talk, right, and will tell us like, absolutely not, dump him. And it's like when you are maybe annoyed at your partner, you might be like, let me call up that friend, because they're gonna like read this person and completely like verbally go after them, and I want to hear that right now. So maybe you don't call that friend that would tell you like, oh, just be chill and be relaxed about it. You're gonna call that friend that's gonna validate your feelings and be like, no, absolutely, like they're crazy to do that, or she's for the streets, or like, yeah, like, no, you deserve better. And I feel like this person kind of like engages in that, or maybe they just look up like content, like TikTok or like Instagram reels or whatever about, like liars or cheaters, or how to know someone's cheating. Like I feel like it's like their mind runs away from themselves and they're their own worst enemy. And a lot of it is just trying to protect themselves, almost like like things they've said about themselves, like promises they've made to themselves about like, I will never tolerate this, or I am not, interested in dating someone who blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you'll hear that from guys. They'll say, a girl has to have like only less than blah 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 bodies, or she can't have slept with more than this number of people. Or a girl might say on the other side, he has to do certain things. He has to pull out the chair, he has to open the door, and he has to pay, and whatever. And I'm not saying that it's bad to have those boundaries. I'm just saying sometimes it's like you can, have these list of rules, and it is about that self-protection, right? It's like, I don't want to deal with like the cheap guy who's like a jerk and selfish, so that's a way to vet. Or the guy is like, I don't want a girl with who's going to cheat, so let me get the girl who hasn't slept with as many people. But of course, like, life is more complicated, and the girl who hasn't slept with as many people could still cheat on you, and the girl that slept with a lot of guys could be more loyal. Like, you never know, because humans are humans, and they're complex, and they can surprise us. But I feel like this person is very like afraid of that uncertainty, and I almost feel like with you, they may have gotten outside of their comfort zone of things they told themselves, like, I will never do this, or I would never tolerate that. And it kind of drives them crazy. It kind of like excites them on one level, but it also kind of scares them, because again, I think that they think of themselves as very rational, and they care about like being in control. It's so interesting that we have these two cards bookending. We have the King of Swords over here, and then the Queen of Pentacles over here, and those are both very powerful energies, and very like dominant energies, I would say, and very like rational, balanced energies, contrasting to like Wand and Cups, which are both more emotionally based. So it's funny, because I feel like it's like this person thinks of themselves as very rational, very in control, very smart. But then they got the Queen of Pentacles over there contrasting to them, who's kind of like, oh, well, actually, I'm also very rational, and I kind of can figure you out, and I'm going to keep you on your toes, and I'm better at certain things that maybe you thought you were good at. Because the Pentacles is, even though it's a feminine energy, Earth is feminine, I think the Pentacles energy aligns with a lot of the things that we traditionally think of as masculine, like money, even though money is arguably feminine, but we can think of like making money, the process of that, as a masculine, or someone who's good with finances and good with numbers as like a masculine thing. And I feel like in a way, this person, like, I don't know, there's something about them feeling a little threatened by this. There's something about them kind of like being like, wait a minute, I was supposed to be in this role, whatever this is. I was supposed to be in this position in the relationship. I was supposed to be the one who was like the smart one, and I was supposed to be the one who called the shots. So like, what is happening here? And I feel like yeah, it's almost like if you are no contact with this person, I feel like it's like a challenge for them, or like it's hard for them to not contact you. But it's almost like they promised themselves, or they made a pledge, or they, whenever they find themselves wanting to reach out to you, they would tell themselves like, don't do it, and you know what, like, you deserve better. And they like they kind of gas themselves up and get themselves into this like emotional state of like, no, you deserve better, blah blah blah. I don't know. Let's get some of these cards for you. Pile number 2. Let's see how this person is feeling towards pile 2. Let's see. Talent guides, spirit mentors, and teachers. That's interesting, because we also got the 3 of Pentacles. So that's 2 teaching energies. So this person may really look up to you. And again, that could be why they're mad. I feel like, I don't know, maybe if some of you guys are older than this person, or you're just more mature than them, that could really, like, I feel like in a way that excites them. Like, on one hand, they love it, but on the other hand, they hate it. And they might like love it in the moment and love it when they're on their own. But then when they have to tell like their friends about it, they're like, yeah. And then so we went to like the flower shop, and then their friends were like, what do you mean you went to the flower shop? That's so lame. And then they find themselves being like, yeah, no, it was lame, and I told her we were gonna leave. And then yeah, so I was like, I'm done. And so then we went to a sports bar instead. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like this kind of enjoying something in the moment, being like all about it, but then afterwards running it through a filter of like, oh, this is embarrassing, this is cringe, people are gonna think blah 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 about me, and I told myself, and I'm supposed to be the one in control, and I'm supposed to be the one in power. And finding themselves kind of like destabilized by being interested in you, finding themselves a little like thrown for a loop by, I feel like, the effect you have on them. Like, I feel like maybe they're used to in their past relationships or in other flirtations or whatever they've had, that they're the one who calls the shots, they're the one who has the power, and they're the one who gets to like dictate how things go. And I feel like with you, it's kind of the opposite. You often are the one in power. You often are the one in control who is, saying how things are going to go. And I feel like also you are kind of self-interested. And I mean that in a good way. Like you don't necessarily lose yourself in the relationship, although you might, obviously really care about the person and like love them. But I feel like you always maintain some independence, or the things you're interested in, like you're interested in on your own. It feels like you kind of have like your own hobbies, your own interests, maybe your own career, maybe you don't really need anyone. And I feel like that kind of is irritating to this person. Like they want you to need them. They want you to be kind of dependent, and they want you to, like, yeah, they want you to like look up to them and be like, wow. And I feel like, yeah, we have this Three of Pentacles here. Instead, it's kind of the opposite. You seem like you kind of quietly, like you're not trying to be like, I'm the powerful one, but you end up being the powerful one who calls the shots, Kind of like the girl, like the small little tiny lady who's married to like a really big, tall, ripped, muscular dude, but he like does what she says, and everyone on the outside is like, wow, like I would be terrified of him, but he's terrified of her, and she's like 5'1". You know what I mean? Let's get some more cards for pile number 2. So we want to know how this person is feeling towards pile number 2. Okay, we got relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy time. Okay, how is this person feeling towards pile number 2? How are they feeling towards pile 2? Kinship, community, your group. That's definitely a factor for this person. Then we got Archangel Raziel, wisdom, inspiration, Akashic records, and the healing heart, love, acceptance, romance. I really think that also, this one also wanted to fly out, but it doesn't really fit, so I'll just put it over here. Hopefully you guys can still see that. Okay, you can't, so we'll just put it here. But yeah, I think that one thing that's sticking out with me is for sure that kinship card, the identity of being in a group. I think that's something this person really worries about, is their reputation, and not wanting to come off as a loser, not wanting to be humiliated, and wanting to like also maintain their independence. This freedom card is sticking out to me as well, and kind of that sense of like, I don't want to be tied down. I can't have someone telling me what to do. I can't lose my inner power, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually, I think, a good thing to maintain your independence in a relationship, to maintain your same identity, and not to be like too codependent and lose every part of you to a relationship. That can be very unhealthy. But I think this person is almost like they are a little too scared. They may have fears of intimacy. And it's interesting seeing this dove like fly away as soon as the gate to the bird cage is open, because I feel like, yeah, it's almost giving like runner energy. Like I feel like this person, if this is a no contact situation or whatever, it's almost like they can feel the potential of how good things can be and how drawn to you they feel. And so I feel like that makes them just want to run away. It just makes them kind of panic a little bit and feel like, oh my God, I can't handle this. I can't do this. I feel like for them, they kind of weren't wanting, like I feel like they feel very drawn to you, but they also had a very set plan for their life in a way. Like maybe they had this idea of what they were going to accomplish and what they were going to do, and kind of this timeline for themselves. And I feel like a connection with you, that wasn't something they like wrote in the book. You know what I mean? That wasn't something they had penciled in as like, okay, and then fall madly in love. And it may even threaten their sense of identity, or the type of identity they've tried to build for themselves. For example, if this is like the cool, wild, crazy guy who's always going out with his friend group, and he wants to be like the big man on campus and the coolest guy in the frat, and then he falls in love with a girl in his college class, and he just wants to spend every weekend sitting at home with her and like watching chick flicks. That might really threaten his sense of identity and the image he had built for himself of what he was going to be like at college, So it may be something that makes him run because of that. Or if this person said, I'm going to become partner at my law firm, by the time I'm 30, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like this ruthless business guy. And then he finds himself very drawn to someone who's not as ambitious and is like maybe an artist, not making that much money, or a barista or something. And then, it can feel very threatening, feel very like, what is this? This was not what I wrote in the plans. This is not what I expected. So I feel like there's a push pull here, and it's not necessarily bad. I This is definitely one of those. Obviously, all readings are meant for a collective, so all readings are gonna have some things that apply for you and things that apply for other people. But I really feel like this group has some varied mix of people, where some people might be in a relationship with this person, and these feelings of like, oh my god, I'm scared, can be that normal part of processing when we really feel drawn to someone else. And there is that sense of fear of like the loss of your freedom, changing identity, plans you may have had for everyone. When you get in a serious relationship, unless your only plan was like, I want to find someone and get married. But for most people, they might have other plans. They might have been like, oh, and I really want to move to New York one day, or I really want to do this career thing. It's going to be really busy, or I'd love to live in Europe. And then it's like that, just those opportunities, or maybe that just the idea of one day I'll meet my favorite movie star and we'll fall in love. Like, no matter how silly and vague that possibility is, it can still exist in our mind. And then you meet someone, you start falling in love, and then it's like, oh wait, this is going to be my life. Like, this is the rest of my life for like the next 40 years or however long. That's kind of like scary. So it's, I think, a normal part of getting into a relationship is thinking about, wow, like this is daunting. Just like buying a house is like a super fun experience, and you're probably really happy about it. But there's also that part of you that's like, woof, I'm going to be on the, hook for the next 30 years for this mortgage, and I have to pay if plumbing breaks, and this is a lot of responsibility. And like, no matter how much you love that house, it can be a little bit scary to think about all those possibilities kind of like narrowing and leaving your life. So I don't think it's a bad thing. And if you're in a relationship with this person, they could still be very committed to you. And I do feel like there's a mix. But then, of course, I could see this kind of fear definitely overriding and just turning into like, absolutely not. I'm going to run away from this. I don't want to deal with this at all. And I'm just going to kind of seek out what's easy for me, what feels good, what's just falling in my lap and not, creating problems for me. I feel like this person is very, yeah, like they like to be in their safety zone. They like to be in their comfort zone where they feel good, where they feel like they get the respect. They feel like their ego gets stroked, like they want people to respect them. They want people to look up to them. And if they're around a friend group that does that, I feel like they'll do things to continue that vibe. And maybe their friends look up to them as like, bro, you hooked up with so many girls. Or like, girl, you always have so many dates, you're so cool, or you're the party girl, I love how single you are. And then they're in a relationship and they're having to make compromises, and it's a little bit of a threat to your identity, right? So I don't know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I am sensing a lot of fear and a lot of like uncertainty that this person feels. Although I do think it has been very healing for them. We got the healing heart, love, acceptance, romance. So I definitely feel like this person does have those feelings. It's not that they are no emotions or anything like that. I just feel like they kind of like to keep that emotion under wraps or under control. Let's get into some song cards for you, pile number 2. How is pile 2's person feeling? So we got thinking of you, Frank Ocean. So yeah, this person thinks of you a lot. Moi je joue, Bridget Bardot. That's really interesting because we also got this relaxation card, peaceful pursuits, happy times. And Moi je joue is such a fun song. It just reminds me of like summertime, south of France, like just glamour and whatever. I feel like for this person, they are thinking of you as like a beautiful bright light that entered their life, like this kind of like burst of sunshine that came in. And I think sometimes they don't know how to handle you, because it's like you almost seem a little out of control to them, like maybe a little bit too optimistic and a little bit too like bright and bubbly and like exciting. And again, I feel like this person kind of has an energy that they like things to be controlled, they like things to be predictable, they like things to be like safe for them. I think that's what feels safe, is when they know exactly what's going to happen. They might be the kind of person that really likes to stick to a schedule, really likes to plan things out, really likes to make a to-do list or a pros and cons list, or a grocery list, like lists in general they like. And I feel like you feel a little chaotic at times. Like you feel like this, we did not plan for this. This is like one of those contingencies that comes in and just changes everything. And I feel like they're excited by that, but also like a little scared and kind of don't know, like in a way. And I hope no one's offended by this, but I feel like you're not the kind of person that they would have written in for themselves. You're not the kind of person that they would have planned for themselves to date or to be with. But I feel like they're just so drawn to you that they can't stay away, even though I don't think they would ever have like written down your characteristics on a list of like what they want in a partner. In a way, that's proof of, yeah, that they do care about you even more, because they're still willing to not put up, I shouldn't say that, but like they're willing to overlook all that despite themselves, because of the intensity of their feelings. Let's get more cards. So Hot, You're Hurting My Feelings, Caroline Polachek. Someday, The Strokes. Okay. This one is Love My Way, Psychedelic Furs. Oh, that's a perfect song for them. And False God, Taylor Swift. And one more, I Want to Be Yours, Arctic Monkeys. Love My Way is definitely sticking out to me, even though that's not like the point of the song, but I feel like they want things their way. You know what I mean? They want things to be done their way. And I feel like they care a lot about like who has the power in the relationship, or making sure they really, I feel like, are also someone that like kind of looks for red flags. And I feel like, no offense to you, pile number 2, but you guys have like lit up a lot of their red flags. Like they may have literally said like, I will never date someone who does blah blah blah, and then you did like 3 of the things. But not, again, I feel like that's proof of how much they like you. Like it's almost like they find themselves being like, oh my God, like I read that in psychology, if you want to get someone to like you, actually you shouldn't do things for them. You should get them to do things for you, because then they'll find themselves kind of questioning like, wait, why did I do this for them? What the heck? And then actually they'll start thinking, well, I must like her or I must like him because I did this for them. I like, let them borrow my book or my car, or whatever. I let them, I gave them this money. I bought them coffee or whatever it is. I helped them with this project. And so I must like them. They kind of will start justifying to themselves like, I guess I must like them on some level. Even I thought I hated them, but here I am getting them coffee, so it must be. And I feel like that's kind of what happened here. Like this person, it's almost like as much as they would say, that's a red flag and you like cross that line, and so I'm done. It actually, like, they continuously come back. So they find themselves being like, okay, dang, I must really like this person even more than I thought, because I literally promised myself I would never date someone who did that, and then here I am and I'm still obsessed. They find you very attractive. We got a lot of some very like sexual songs, False God and So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings, so I feel like they're very attracted to you. And with Someday as well, they may kind of think that maybe one day you guys will. I feel like if this person is doing the like ghosting thing or the like no contact thing, they may have this idea that like they'll come back to you one day, or they may check your social media and kind of like constantly think of you even if they're not reaching out right now. Let's get some more tarot for pile number 2. We want to know how pile 2's person feels about them. How does pile 2's person feel about them? So we got the King of Cups. Okay. This one is the Hermit. Let's see what this person feels. The 8 of Pentacles. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some investment that's happened in this relationship. I feel like this person is saying, here I am, like I'm still into this person even after everything, even despite myself, even after promising myself I would stop talking to them, or even after promising myself I would stop checking their Instagram. Here I am, I keep doing it, and I keep thinking of them, even if I try to cut them off, even if I, like made that promise to myself, like, oh, I just keep doing it, I keep coming back, and they kind of beat themselves up about that. So we also got the Eight of Wands, the Emperor, the Knight of Swords, the Fool, and the Hierophant. Yeah, I feel like the Hierophant is a good card for this person as well. It's ruled by Taurus, and this person definitely has that Taurus stubborn energy. But also the Hierophant is very traditional, and it's interested in power. And I feel like we also got the Emperor, which is also very interested in power. This person always thought that, like, if they were in a relationship or if they liked someone, they were going to be the one who was listened to. Like, they may have heard stories about someone getting cheated on, or someone whose wife didn't really respect them, or someone whose wife, asked them to do, and they might have said, I never tolerate that. I would never be in that kind of relationship. Or a woman who's with a man and he, did this, blah, blah, blah. And, a woman saying, like, well, I would never tolerate that. And I would just leave. And I feel like this person has found themselves being like, oh my gosh, even though I like feel like deep down, I kind of I know that I said that, and I know that maybe according to my rules I should leave. I just can't stay away from this person. And I feel like that's very destabilizing for even their sense of self. They find themselves being like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am a simp. Maybe I am pathetic, because why am I still, after all this time, why am I still obsessing over this person and I can't stay away from them? So for those who have that really strong sense of will and really care most about, their reputation and what others think, they may really listen to this and they may stay away from you and they may kind of like fully cut you off. But for those of you, or those of this group, whatever the heck, for those people that care more about their emotions and are able to really listen to their heart and their intuition, I feel like there's a lot of potential here for something long term if they can get past this fear stage, if they can get past the, like, I need to hold on to my own identity and I can't get swept away in this love, and this is threatening to me and who I thought I was supposed to be. It almost reminds me of like those stories that you'll hear about people who had affairs for years, or they married someone else, they married who they were supposed to, like Prince Charles with like Camilla Parker Bowles. I know I'm like the only person, but like low-key, I find their story super romantic. I know everyone else like hates them and thinks they're like disgusting people, which, I mean, I don't know too much about the royal family. I've never been like a royal fan, so I don't know if I like missed everything. And maybe if I like read more about it, I will change my mind and be like, yeah, she's horrible. But I kind of think it's a little bit romantic. And from what I have read, Prince Charles wanted to marry Camilla, but he was told he couldn't by his mother, the queen, because she was married and she would have to get in a divorce, and that was like frowned upon because this was like the 70s, and she was older than him and all this stuff. And I think it's kind of romantic. Obviously, it's really sad that he was married to someone else, and that's, very upsetting and disrespectful, to say the least, to your partner. But I also feel like they knew each other. It's not like they started an affair while they were together. Like, they knew each other first, and it was really unfortunate. I don't know. And then eventually, like, they've been married for a long time, and they've been together for like over 20 or 30 years. I don't know. I just think, however you feel about that, it's giving me those vibes of like someone that says, like, I know I've got to do the right thing. I'm going to marry this person that's right for me, that's picked out for me, that fits the bill of what I was told I need to be with. And then just continuously thinking of that person that's like off limits, or that person that, doesn't make sense for them. Yeah. And like how strong and how powerful that can be, that forbidden. Sometimes it's a soul tie. Sometimes it's knowing someone from the past lifetime. And you guys did get Akashic Records here. Archangel Raziel, Akashic Records. So there may be that past life connection with this person that is just very overwhelming. And we also got the Hermit. The Hermit is ruled by, is connected with Virgo. So it's like, I really feel like there is this deep, like overthinking energy that this person has. Not necessarily good Virgo energy. Of course, Virgo is great in so many ways, but the Mercury signs, and definitely Virgo, with like the anxiety that Virgo kind of carries, can overthink and can sometimes be their own worst enemy by like thinking something to death. Sometimes that's obviously really useful, and that's why there's so many writers with prominent Virgo, and incredible writers of all kinds, songwriters and book writers and all kinds of writers, poetry writers that have Virgo. It's such an integral placement for like writing, success in writing or editing, whatever. But the bad side is like it can be that same overthinking quality that leads to such excellence in so many different areas in life can also lead when it comes to love, where it's not really the placement you want to overthink. That's why, like, technically Venus is debilitated it's in fall in Virgo, and it's exalted in Pisces, which is not an energy of thinking. You know what I mean? So when it comes to love, you don't necessarily want to be that overthinker that's like, oh my God, all the pluses and all the minuses. You just want to kind of be able to go with the flow. And I feel like that's hard for this person. Let's get some message cards to end off this reading for pile number 2. So we got baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict, inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Let me get one more. Water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. That's funny because this person could definitely do with like more appreciation of water. And I was thinking, like, it feels like they're the kind of person who's very uncomfortable with water or doesn't have a lot of water in their chart, because we got the King of Swords for them. I feel like they are, water has that quality, and that's why water rules relationships in tarot. It rules emotions, where water sweeps you away. You can get swept away by water, just like you can in a relationship, and you can find yourself overwhelmed, just like you would be if like suddenly a tidal wave crashed on your, crash on top of you and you just be swept away in the current. And I feel like that's kind of how this has happened for this person. It just felt like, oh my God, I just got swept away in this, and I wasn't expecting it, I wasn't wanting it, but I just can't stop thinking about this person. I'm just like obsessed. We got karmic relationships as well, so they may really feel that like connection from a past lifetime. They may really feel that like, I know them before, or this is so crazy, I can't walk away, even though I told myself I would, even though I promised myself that I wouldn't deal with this person anymore, or I wouldn't tolerate blah blah, or I wouldn't date someone who's whatever this is. I cannot walk away. I'm so drawn to this person. I'm so obsessed with them, and I feel like it almost like doesn't make sense to them either, and that's what just drives them crazy and sends them on a loop. Is like they're usually a very logical person, and they usually do things that make so much sense, and they usually are so rational and so smart about everything. So how are they so irrational and just so drawn to you despite all their logic? So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. Once you sign up, you'll get access to over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual gifts and talents. Before that, I posted one all about your person and whether you know them from a past lifetime. That might apply for you guys, or what kind of soul connection you guys have. And before that, there was one about what people have realized about you. So there's a ton of content. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good and you want to sign up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can book me for a tarot session, an astrology session, a channeling session, a combination. You can have it pre-recorded or live. You get to really customize your time so that it's perfect for you. So if you're interested, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. You guys got the Death card, 9 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, and the Strength card. So what I'm feeling right off the bat with that 9 of Cups card coming out, that really talks about deep emotional fulfillment, even like a wish coming true. And I feel like that's how this person feels towards you. And we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 2 9s and the 9s that we want to see, not the 9 of Swords or the 9 of Wands, the best 9s that show such happiness and fulfillment and success. So I feel like with this person, they really feel like they've met a soulmate. They really have a deep feeling of what I'm getting is a lot of gratitude, like this person being very grateful that they met you and really being in awe of you. So I'm gonna guess there's a lot of people who are maybe still in a relationship with this person. And if this is a past person, maybe someone you're in separation from, they may be talking about their feelings at the time when you guys were together or when things were good between you, how it felt to them. Because what's coming through at first is just this overwhelming gratitude and feeling of almost like relief. Like, oh my gosh, I met my person. I finally found them and I feel so safe around them. And I feel like this person, what they want to talk about, first of all, like they're really talking fast. So I feel like this person has a lot to say, a lot of emotions for you. But what they want to talk about, first of all, is just what a great person you are. Like they keep telling me, oh my God, pile number 3 is such a good person. Pile 3 is so amazing. Pile 3 is such an angel. And they're talking about, especially specifically, you being very compassionate and you being the kind of person who would give the shirt off your back to like a stranger, who would, you know, stop your car in the middle of a highway to like help a little raccoon pass or something like that. Like you feel very sweet, generous, loving, and that this person is just saying, oh my gosh, like you don't even know what a good person they are. You don't even know how kind, how amazing. I don't know why they want me to say this, but they really want to get it off their chest. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe this person was too afraid to tell you this in person, or like their human self isn't brave enough to actually say all this. Maybe you sometimes wonder about this person's feelings for you. And if you're in any doubt, yeah, they definitely think of you as freaking amazing. It's giving like biggest fan energy. Like I feel like they really feel happy that they met you, and so happy as well that they got your attention. Like I feel like the fact that you ever liked them back, to them still feels like a bit of a dream. Like they can't get over it, and they're just like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like, even for some of you guys, either early stages of love, or if you've been together for a while with this person, wow, like they're still in the honeymoon phase. They still think of you as just incredible, and again, still feeling really lucky to be with you. And if you're in no contact separation from this person, we will get into that. We did have the death card, so I'm sure that applies for some of you guys. But I feel like what's coming through overall right now is just like, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful I met them and my life is better. And this person also wants to acknowledge that. Maybe some of you guys have even felt guilt or sadness about like, if there was a separation from this person, if you guys aren't together with this person anymore, maybe there's a part of you that feels guilty, or is like, like we mess everything up and it's just awful and I feel bad for my part. But this person wants you to know that they've benefited so much from their soul connection with you. They've grown so much and they really feel grateful to you. Like if you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys knew this person in a past lifetime and you helped them in a past life, or I don't know, like I feel like this person is just saying over and over and over, you have helped them, you've helped them to learn, you've helped them to grow, you've helped them to change. And I feel like they are very like happy. Again, like I feel like for you, meeting you, it felt almost a little bit like coming home. They're also telling me a lot of information about you. Some of you guys have really strong boundaries, and if you are in separation or no contact with this person, that could be why. I feel like you have always had this inner self-respect. If you're in a active relationship with this person, they're just acknowledging that you have strong boundaries, that you respect yourself, and that they respect and love that about you. Like they love the fact that you sometimes, even if they get mad in the moment or they get frustrated in the moment, like if you say no, you mean no, and you're gonna stick to that. Or if they're doing something you don't like, you're gonna speak up about it. You're gonna say like, hey, cut it out. So there's a lot of, like I said, that gratitude coming in. There's a lot of that being so happy with you and just feeling like really like that it was like a lucky day in their world, the day they met you, almost one of those days they look back on like, wow, it was meant to be. But I feel like they also just, yeah, they feel like you've gone above and beyond so many times for them. If you are in separation from them, I feel like it did have to do with you like telling them no, or them doing something bad and you cutting them off. And even though their lower self may have been very frustrated about that, their higher self also really respects it and understands why you had to do it, and is saying, like, taking ownership of like what they had to do. I don't know if for some of you guys, like I'm doing a reading at the time that this person is sleeping or whatever. I don't know, their energy feels so open. Like a lot of times, sometimes when you connect with someone, even their higher self or you know, you'll still get some attitude from their human self. You'll still get a block or a like, no, we're not going to talk about that. But this person, it just feels like they are so open and they almost like want to tell everyone. Maybe they didn't have anyone to tell in their life at the time when you guys were together, or they didn't feel comfortable just pouring out all the level of their feelings. You know, most people aren't going to say like, oh my God, I'm obsessed and I'm in love. Even if they have close friends, they might just say like, yeah, it's going really well. Like, yeah, no, I really like them. And but I feel like this person, it's almost like they're just so excited to finally tell someone and so excited to get it out there. I also feel like you were like their biggest fan, or you really supported them on such a deep level, and this person really appreciated it. They really felt seen by you. Like you saw through to their core. You saw through to who they really were, and you looked past any flaws or any fake pretenses or any situation that they were in temporarily, and maybe an identity they give to the world. You really saw through to who they really are deep on the inside. And I feel like this person so appreciated that as well. So yeah, what's coming through right off the bat is just that this person just feels so overjoyed to be with you. Now I'm also getting, I just finally got, because I was like, okay, I don't know if everyone's just like engaged to this person or what. Like this is crazy because it's just feeling all positive. But I finally got a tinge of some negativity. So for those of you guys who are in separation from this person or no contact or whatever, this could be your part coming in, because there is this person mentioning feeling not good enough, and we can definitely see that with the Seven of Wands, where maybe there was some insecurity or or fear of competition, fear of others, and this person is acknowledging maybe your part in that, or that you were more open than they would have wanted. Like maybe even if you didn't, you know, cheat on them or step out with anyone else, it's still like they only want you to see them. And if they could, they probably would like lock you away in a room and just not let you see anyone else of the opposite sex, or anyone that, you know, of the group they're in. Like if they're a lesbian, they don't want you seeing other girls. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds messed up, like that they would lock you in a room. I don't actually mean that. But, you know, like they don't want you seeing anyone else. They really hate that, like they feel possessive. They hate that they get jealous, but they do. And they really feel like none of these people can know you the way I know you. None of them can understand you the way I know you. And there's also a feeling of rejection coming in. So again, I'm guessing this is not for those of you guys who are in a happy, beautiful relationship with this person, which I can totally see. And we're, you know, Spirit has to talk to multiple groups and multiple people within each reading. So don't take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take it on if you are in a relationship with this person necessarily. But there is a feeling of like betrayal, or kind of like, so I wasn't good enough, huh? Or like, so you moved on, huh? You seem to be doing fine now. And kind of a little bit of anger or a little bit of just sadness about that is what's coming through. Let me get into these cards for you. Pile number 3. You want to know how this person feels about pile number 3. Okay, we got 2 cards. Prophets and ancient seers, decisions, predictive guidance, thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals. So they definitely feel this spiritual connection with you, like on the astral plane. They definitely feel maybe like they can feel your energy or your thoughts, or that, you know, when they're going to bed at night, they can feel your energy with them. They can feel you guys being connected on the astral plane. We also have that here with this prophets and ancient seers card as well. Like, there is a deep spiritual connection that I feel like this person feels towards you. And I feel like they maybe haven't experienced this or felt this way with anyone else. They may find themselves like reading about your astrology, reading about your compatibility, or looking up sun sign compatibility, which I always think is so funny because I'm like, you obviously got to look at the Venus sign and the Mars sign more, and the whole chart. I mean, you can't do someone's compatibility without just looking at the entire synastry chart, sun sign compatibility, like, please. But, you know, some people who don't know about astrology, they might look at something like that. Like, how does Taurus match up with Sagittarius, you know, and read about that and try to figure out like as much information as they can, not knowing that that's just a fraction of the info. But I feel like they really want to know, like it's maybe even awaken them to different spiritual concepts. Like maybe they didn't really believe in the concept of a soulmate, or they were like, that's corny, that's lame, or that's just a line. Like, yeah, dudes say that on Valentine's Day to get laid. You know, they might have said stuff like that, and then they find themselves being like, oh my God, this is what it's like. This is a soulmate. Wow. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 3. Let's see. How does this person feel? Archangel Raguel, Justice, Harmony, Solutions. Let's see. Sensitivity and strength, tipping the forces within. And let's get one more card for you. How does this person feel towards pile number 3? This one is relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy times. Yeah, there's that deep fulfillment that I keep getting from this person. But with the justice and harmony, I feel like there is also that sense of maybe karma, or feeling like they did something wrong. Like they're kind of acknowledging that they messed things up as well, and that like there was an immaturity in them, or that they couldn't handle it. Only if you guys are obviously no contact or in separation. If you're in a happy relationship, then just ignore that part of the reading, and we will hopefully get back to things that apply for you as well. But I feel like there's that part of them that also wants to acknowledge things that they've messed up on, and they're saying that they were really immature when they met you, and they're kind of laughing like, and I'm still immature now, but I'm a lot better and I've grown a lot. And so I feel like if there was anything they did to really sabotage the relationship, they want you to know that they have reflected on that, and they are grateful for the lessons you taught them. And especially if you like stood on business, really listened to your own boundaries and respected your boundaries, and didn't like give in to this person, didn't compromise yourself. I feel like even though that upset this person when it happened, or they wish you would have, there was a part of them that wished you would have like just accepted their behavior. They also are really grateful for the fact that you did listen to your boundaries, because it's almost like they could have never learned this lesson as a soul without going through that pain. Even though it was so hard for them, their higher self, I feel like their higher self is like really taking over this reading, because I'm like, oh my God, like this is either an extremely mature human, or this is like a higher self, because this is just really mature. But they are saying, you know, they did learn so much from the pain, even though it sucked. And even though, you know, they didn't enjoy any disagreement with you or any falling out or whatever this was, they have grown so much. I could definitely see this also still being, if you're in a relationship with someone, just acknowledging the twists and turns and the growth that happens in the context of a relationship. I feel like this person is saying you have made them into a better person. You have made them grow and reach outside of themselves and become so much stronger than they were when they first met you. And it's almost like they could have never reached this point, and they could have never gone through the growth that they went through if it wasn't for meeting you, because no one else could bring out the same level of pain, and they never really cared about anything this much until they met you, and they were never inspired to change before they met you. They're also saying that you never ever tried to control them. You've never tried to tell them what to do. You've just always been in your own energy doing your own thing, but that has been your strength. Like you have this beautiful balance between being so strong, but also being like this gentle and sweet and loving person. And that's exactly how the growth has come about, is because like they were inspired to change for you, not because you were telling them what to do or trying to make them, but because they just wanted to make you so happy. This person is also acknowledging that every time they hear like a romantic song come on the radio, or if there is a romantic movie playing, their mind goes to you. They really feel like you guys are deeply connected on a psychic, mental level, and that their thoughts are on you all the time. Like you're their first thing they think of in the morning, their last thing at night. And they really, you know, everything reminds you of them. And it's almost like they just see you as magical. I'm hearing that song Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac. And I feel like for them, it's like they see you in everything, everywhere. Like they just see you as so powerful and almost like a goddess or a god, like just very perfect in their mind, and kind of like a dream in so many ways. They're saying that you are just so special and so unique and so different from everyone else. Let's get into some song cards for pile number 3. So we got I've Got You Under My Skin, Frank Sinatra. This one is You to One, Rihanna. Let's see. Run Away With Me, Carly Rae Jepsen. Radar, Britney Spears. Mystery of Love, Sufjan Stevens. Pang, Caroline Polachek. And Bruises, Chairlift. And Toxic by Britney Spears. Okay, so I feel like this person is saying toxic maybe in regards to their own behavior or things they did. Like I feel like they're saying that when they met you, they were a lot more toxic. When they met you, they were not in this mature place that they're in now. And I feel like being connected with you, knowing you, has made them want to grow, like I said, in a way that only you could inspire. I feel like there's still that part of them that reminisces and thinks about, if you guys are in separation, like what things could have been like with you. Like if they're buying an apartment or if they're moving into their apartment with a current partner, they think about like what that would have been like with you, and think about, that would have been so amazing, or it would have been so much better, or it would be so much cooler if she was here. It would have been so much cooler if things could have worked out. And it may even be hard for them to watch like romantic films if they have a new partner, because I feel like their mind goes to you. Now, if you're in a current relationship with this person, it may just be them talking about how many plans they have for you in the future and how many things they wanted to do with you or they still want to do with you, and how they have so many dreams that they can't imagine doing with anyone else. Like I feel like now that they've had your energy, it's almost like they're addicted and they can't imagine being around someone for the rest of their life, because once they've experienced that energy with you, it's like nothing else could possibly compare. We also got Mystery of Love by Sufjan Stevens, which is such a deep, beautiful, amazing love song, and really captures, I think, how love doesn't like make sense, or love doesn't like, it's just so irrational, or it's just so crazy how you can feel so drawn to one person and suddenly they become your everything. Suddenly you meet someone one day and then next thing you know, you're like head over heels for them and you can't imagine your life away from them. And I feel like that's really how this person feels. Like they feel like meeting you was such a precious gift and something that still to this day doesn't even make sense to them. Still to this day, they're like, how did that even happen? And I feel like for them, they just wish, if you're in separation with this person, they wish they could have been better for you. If you're still talking or dealing with this person, they may be trying to self-improve in order to be able to get you. I feel like there were things you pointed out where like they didn't have the maturity to always listen to it at the time or to be on that level at the time. If you're in an active relationship with this person, they want you to know they are working on it. They are trying to change. And if you take a step back and like really pay attention, you might notice that like half the things that annoy you about them or half the things that they do that you're like, oh, like I can't believe they did that. Like if you ask them about it or tell them to stop, you might notice that like they actually do stop. And like all the times that you would get mad about something and then they would maybe brush it off, but then they never did it again, So maybe this person isn't the best at communicating it and telling you like, I'm really sorry and I shouldn't have done that. But like next thing you know, like they're totally changing their behavior. I feel like they're saying like they are really grateful to meet you, and even if they mess up or they make mistakes, like they truly are committed to you. They truly do love you, and like it's genuine. Also, some of you guys, if you're in a relationship with this person or dealing with this person in the early stages, you might like not believe the things they tell you. Like if they say, oh my god, I'm so in love with you and like I'm obsessed with you and like you're the one for me, you might be like, and I bet you told other girls that's a line or something, but this person is saying no, like they genuinely feel that way. They genuinely can't imagine their life without you, and it's truly how they feel. It's not a line, it's not something that they're just saying to get you to like them. Like they really feel that strongly about you, and it's real for them. It's a genuine thing. So yeah, they kind of want to put your worries at ease, and they are saying even if they do mess up, like this person, their feelings are genuine. Whether their actions always align, who knows? It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest, but their feelings are there for sure. Let's get into some cards for you, pile number, okay? This one wants to come out, the Queen of Cups. Wow. First thing is a compliment. That's just so perfect because that's kind of the vibe I've been getting this whole time. The Queen of Cups is super compassionate and empathetic, and she really feels everyone's emotions, and she's so creative and so loving and just really an ideal partner. And I feel like that's how this person views you. Like they see you as just incredible and just so powerful, and just so like talking to you, I feel like is almost like their safe space. Like that's their home. Like when they get to be around you, when they get to hug you, when they get to touch you, they just feel like everything is right in the world. So I could definitely see a lot of you guys who picked this pile being in an active relationship with this person, or if this is an ex, like they really might reminisce about your time together and just they really did care about you. I will say that. If this is like a new relationship, wow, this person just really, really likes you. Let's get into some more cards for pile number 3. So we got the Death card, the Nine of Wands. Okay, so the Death card came out twice. So there's definitely got to be some people who are in separation with this person. We got the Chariot, the Star, the Strength card. Strength card also came out twice. The Sun and the Eight of Cups. So the Sun, again, I also think is your energy, and this person just gassing you up and mentioning how special you've made their life and how awesome they find you. You know, the Sun is the object that the entire universe rotates around, right? And so I feel like that's how this person feels about you, is like you are their sunshine on a cloudy day, and you are their reason for waking up in the morning. And you know, you are the star. They're drawn to you. They may tell you things like that, like I love you to the stars, or you know, you're my sun, moon, stars, or something like that. I feel like they just see you as like such a special gift that entered their life, and they really look back on this with like a very mystical energy. For those who are like creatively inclined, they might write books about this, or a song about this, or write poetry about it, or write about it in their journal. Like I feel like they really hold their memories with you so close to their chest, and like cherish all the times you guys spent together. I'm even hearing for some of you guys, this person could have pictured starting a family with you. So if you're still romantically involved with this person, that might be something they still want. Or if this is someone from your past, maybe that was something that they considered at the time, and they still think of you as like, wow, pile number 3 would have made an amazing mom or an amazing dad, and just such a great parent and such a kind, sweet person. Like, wow, I'm so lucky to have met them. And they're saying you're always like, they're saying pile 3 always knows the right things to say. Pile 3 always has the right words to tell me, and is just such a generous person. We also got the Death card, and the Death card we got twice. And the Death card is all about, you know, the ending of something usually when that comes out. And with it coming out twice, again, if you guys are in separation from this person, they could be saying that leaving, you know, you leaving really hit them hard. And I'm getting a message for those of you guys who are still in a relationship with this person. They are saying they think a lot or worry a lot about things ending between you, and about, you know, what would happen if things ended and how horrible that would be. It's reminding me, what's coming to my mind with the Death card is the fact that it's the number 13, and it's that number for a reason, because in the West, 13 is considered an extremely unlucky number. And so, you know, even like hotels will skip the 13th floor, or apartment buildings will skip the 13th floor, and it'll go from 12 to 14, or, you know, like, there's so many things, there's so many superstitions of people skipping the number 13 or not using 13 because they associated it with death, and because they associated it with bad luck. And what's coming to my mind with that is how that really lives rent free in so many people's minds. Like they just think about, oh my God, the number 13, even if it's not that big of a deal, even if, you know, obviously people are on the 13th floor. Like if you go to Asia, they have other numbers that are unlucky and other numbers that will be skipped. I can't remember the numbers, but it's not 13. So like they don't care about the 13th floor at all, but they will skip other numbers. And I wish I could remember what those numbers are, but I can't. But the point is you realize, you know, kind of how once you're in like Asia, and the number to you is just so arbitrary. Like you're like, huh, why would that number be unlucky? And it seems kind of silly, but then we do that in the West, right? And technically it's just a number, but like, if you are from a certain culture and that is associated with bad luck, then you will freak out like, no, I'm not going to stay on the 13th floor, whatever. You know what I mean? And it can be a source of like incredible stress and panic. And I feel like that's kind of how this person considered, if you guys did break up, or if you haven't broken up, it may really worry them, and it may really live rent free in their mind and just occupy a lot of space. Is like, oh my God, but what if they left? And that might, if they ever like start acting up or act crazy, that might be a part of it. That may be what's going through their mind, is just like this fear of losing you that I feel like kind of takes away their logic and just supersedes all reasoning, all sense, and just makes them go to a deep place of panic. Also that Nine of Wands, feeling like they need to defend and protect what's there, desires, and maybe getting worried and feeling competitive about other people coming into your life, and getting worried about other people getting close to you, and really feeling this kind of like, maybe even if they know it's unhealthy, they can't help themselves from being like, oh my God, I don't want anyone else talking to them. Oh my God. Because I feel like they feel that this is like the most important thing in their life. And so if you left, it would just be so devastating for them. They don't know what they would do. Let's get some message cards for you. Pile number 3. We want to know, okay, that one flew out. We want to know how this person feels towards pile number 3. So we got the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. And then we have over here, forget, forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Okay. And then we got 2 cards. I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Star family, you're part of a team of souls, call in support, and you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. So you have really made this person feel not alone and feel so deeply understood on a soul level. And I feel like that is the difference. Like truly you guys probably knew each other in a past life, because it feels like coming home for this person. It feels like, oh, I finally get this person and they get me. And maybe they literally had like that sense of deja vu when they met you, of like, how do I know this person? Do I know them from a past life? Or maybe they weren't thinking that consciously. Maybe they're thinking, did I meet them at a party and I was drunk and I don't remember? I don't know, pass them in the street? This is so wild. But I feel like I know them. I feel like I remember them. And maybe it's from a past lifetime. I feel like this person, if you guys did know each other in a past life, maybe that's why we got the death card twice, and this great severing card is like, I'm also tapping into that pain of like, I lost you once and I'll never lose you again, or I messed things up once and I'm dang sure not going to do it again, and I am going to make sure I'm on point this time and I'm not gonna screw it up. And I feel like really this person is saying they will do whatever it takes to be with you, because they really do love you and they really do care about you, and they are really trying to do as good of a job as they can. They know they're not perfect and they know they mess up, and their higher self is just saying like, please be patient with them, because like truly all the stupid things this person does, or when they do mess up, like if you knew how much this person cared about you, you would, you know, not be as rigid with them. But I'm not saying you guys, I think it's good that you guys have your boundaries. I can see that strength card coming up twice, and I think that in a way the boundaries you've had with this person, the way you have like really stood your ground about certain things and you have not backed down, I feel like that has helped this person grow so much and become a better person, and they wouldn't be able to reach these levels of growth if it wasn't for you. That's a huge, huge part of it. So I really feel like their higher self, even though, you know, yes, give this person the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, I'm not saying be super harsh with them, but I also feel like your boundaries are actually a really beautiful thing and has helped this person immensely to recognize and maybe reflect on some of their actions and recognize how they can have more growth. And I feel like they are super in love with you, pile number 3. Like they are definitely into you and care so much about you. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys. I hope it resonated. If you want to see more of my readings, then be sure to head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I have over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual gifts and talents, and before that there was one about whether you know this person from a past lifetime, what your soul connection is with them. You guys might be very interested in that. Before that there was a reading about what people have realized about you, but there is so much content to choose from. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a tarot reading, a open channeling session, an astrology session, a combination of all 3. You get to also choose what we focus on and talk about during your session, whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's live. So you get to really customize your session so that it is the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good and you are interested in booking that time with me, then head to my website. The link for that is in my description for briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon in another reading. So take care Take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye.